Welcome to this tutorial. First, a high-level view of the functionality. So how does this all work? So we have a settings tab, we have projects tab, we have 4 resources type, and we have a dashboard. So the settings provide project's name and resource type that you can customize. The projects send the requirements to the teams, and the teams respond with their availability or lack of. And then all that is being happily fed in the dashboard. Now, a couple of things. The first thing is this is fully automated. Towards the end, I'll tell you how you can manipulate the data if you want specific resource on the projects. It's very easy to do, but I will have another video where we can directly allocate the teams manually. First thing, I want to create a settings tab. So I'm creating a tab, I'm calling it settings, and I will input the 3 tabs of information, the resource type, because I said that we would have 4 resource types, the project priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, because the resource allocation will be done in that order, and also the period which you have chosen. So in this instance, I will choose monthly. First of all, I'm just going to take the short description. I'm just going to, for the resource, put business analysts, developers for the second type, test analysts, don't call them testers, and admin. Now the project priority 1, I mean, once again, we need to give a short description. So even if those projects have long description, just we need to make sure that it's short enough. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to call it project 1. And if I drag it down, Excel should do the work for me. And here I'm just going to go with the month, just purely like this. Remember, it's high level, so we don't want to go into the, into very detailed date here. You could even have 6 months or even years. Okay, so this is done. Now what I would like to do quite early in this process is to change the background. So I have the background color here that I want to have, because I want to make sure that I see what I type, because when we create the chart, we will have this background. So I want to input it now. So I just go into the normal style here. I right click on it. I click modify, format, and then for the fill, I put more colors, and I have the color here that I have selected, and I put it in a hex here. So this is my selection, 1B to E55. So it's not black, but it's pretty dark. So that should change all the cells. So now I can see, I can make sure that what I type is visible. So I just avoid to use deep backgrounds. So this is it. So this is, we have our settings ready that we will use to retrieve the resource type names, the project names, and the periods. The second step is we're going to start with project 1. So we need to create 3 tabs, 1 for each project. So for project 1, I'm just creating a new tab. I will walk you through the text later on, but I'll just put rename, and I call it project 1. And just a word on color coded here. So that's a bit like in my car engine. Everything that is yellow has to be manually input, and everything that is in this light blue will come from another tab. And here this brighter blue here shows the first component that I bring back from the other tabs. I think it will make sense. Like for instance, here I want to put the period here at the top. So here I will just put equal, and I will go to the settings tab, and I will put January here. But that's not going to work because I want to have them horizontal here. So what I do instead is I put the transpose. So I will convert the vertical to horizontal, if you like. Transpose the settings K7 to the rest of the array to this one here. And if I press enter, it should work. So it brought everything back. So what I meant by this, so I just work on this one and all the others come back. So this is why this one has a brighter blue, if you like. Now here the same, here they have resource type 1, 2, and 3, but just for to be precise, I prefer to bring the resource type back. So here I will just go to the settings tab, equal business analyst, I press enter, and after I can just drag it down. So that's it. So this way, this tells you only have to do it with this one. With this one, you obviously need to input the resourcing here. And what I want to input somewhere here is also the number 1. Okay, here it is. So I've done it already. So just put number 1, which is for project 1. It will make things easier because I want to make it very easy for us to create all these tabs. So now we have created an area where we can input all our estimates. So I will not be doing the tapping in front of you, but just I will input some random numbers here, and then we can start working on our estimate. So let's have a look. I have prepared more fields here, so I've input some requirements here, number of days. I will change that probably later on so that the charts make more sense, but it's just to get us started. So I've created another group of 4 here for each resource type. So this will be used on those tabs to calculate how much resource we can get for each resource type. And just to help us understand this spreadsheet, I'm putting some comments here with this bright blue here to tell us where it comes from. Like for this one, it will come from each one of the tabs, for instance, and the like. So this we will have to wait until we create the tab to input it. I told you we would start from scratch, so we are really starting from scratch. And here it's what we still need. So what do we need? We need what we wanted. So what we wanted is was 50, and how much are we given? So for the moment we're given 0, but hopefully that will change. So and then I can drag that down, and I can drag all that down. So for the moment we have been given nothing. Now all the fields in grays are calculated. So this is it. So now we need to create those tabs to calculate how much of each resource we can get. So what is critical, and I've said that maybe already, is that we need to make sure that we have the tab for the projects right and the tag for the resource type right, at least one right of each. And after it will be very easy. So this is how I have designed and built this spreadsheet. So once we've done one, it's all very automated for the other. So we don't have to repeat the information on each one. Now I need to create another tab that I will call rest type 1. And once again, we'll just create rest type 1, and after it'll be easier. Rest type 1, I'll call it this way. So we need to retrieve the first time from the settings, but I need to do a transpose as well. Transpose, go to settings, take all this, and brought everything back. Here I want to put the name of this resource type, so I just go to settings, and I select the first one. We are dealing with business analyst, and this is where I will be inputting my resource names. Now that's it. So I've input some random resource names. I also put some availability here. So this is the availability before allocation to any project in days. While I'm at it, I could do a count A, which is I want to check how many resources I have. That would be useful for the charts. I do a count A of all this, and that should give me a count, and I will put a bit of text here so it's easier later on. So here I know I have 5 resources. Now I've progressed in my skeleton here. I've created a few more rows. So what I need to do is I need to create 3 sets of rows, one for each project. We will be using the availability of resource, and we will allocate the resources to projects using the priority that we have. As always, I highlight the cells that are calculated in gray and the one that are retrieved from other tabs in bright blue. So the first thing that we need to do is, it'll be good to get the name. If you want to, for clarity, if you want to get the project name, you can get it from here. Settings, project 1. So that's much clearer. Same here. So that will be done when we duplicate this tab. It doesn't have to be done again. Settings here, so project 3. So now how do we get the requirements from this? So we just need to go to the project tab, and then we get the requirement for the resource type 1, so which are here actually, so just the 50 here. And then I can just copy all that across. So I'm just going to copy the formula so it doesn't remove my formatting. So for the moment we haven't built the project. I need to put project 2 here. For the moment we haven't built those tabs there, so we cannot retrieve them, but this is a bit of a chicken and egg situation, but as we progress we will put them here. So we're just building the skeleton at this stage. So we have at the top here, we have the availability before allocation. So this is all the resources that are available for us. And then we have the requirements. So this is quite simple. So we don't differentiate between resources. So what we can do is to calculate the sum of all the resources available on the first period here, on the first month for us. So I'm just copying that across. And while I'm at it, I can just calculate the sums here at the end. We'll see if we can use that towards the end or not. Now, how do we calculate how much will be provided to the project? So there's 2 scenarios. So either there's enough resource available, and in this case we will just satisfy that requirement, and therefore we'll have 50 here in this, or there's not enough, and in this case we will take what we have. So I'll just put that into a formula. So if the total availability is greater to or equal to the requirements, then in this case we satisfy that requirement. Otherwise we just take what we can get. So here, for instance, we wanted 50, but we only have 40, so we find ourselves with only 40 here. So I just can drag that along and we can verify. For instance, we had 311 available and we wanted 100, so we're not greedy, we just take the 100, so we just take this. So this is what is provided. And then the bottom is what else is needed. Do we need more? So it's just a matter of deducting what has been provided from the requirements. And this is it. So we're doing quite well. We just need 10 here on the first period, and all the rest has been provided to us. Obviously here there's some 200 here that looks a bit dodgy, but if we put 20, a max of 20 here, for instance. Okay. So now once the other ones are completed, once the other projects are available, we can do the same thing. But what we can do now is, here we have a row that we called availability remaining after the project 1. So how much do we have left? So we had 40 at the start, and we have given 40, so we have nothing left. And then we can copy that across. So that's all that's available already at the end, and I can copy all the totals there. So we had 424, and now this project's gobbled up a lot of this. So as I was saying, just for training purpose, I will play around with the numbers, just to give you an idea of the type of calculations that we can have. Now I've added another block, a bit of a summary that will be useful for the charts. So the idea is to know how many days are required, for instance, to get us started. So the requirements, we put the sum of all the requirements here, so we have an idea of how many business analysts we're required to start with. So we just add all the requirements here. For the moment, there's only one project, obviously. What has been provided, same thing. So we just add all that has been provided. And we drag that along. Available after allocation. So there is already something here, but I want to put it here as well. Yes, the availability. So we have something here. Yeah, I forgot to copy this, but no, the project 2 and 3 are not here yet. So we'll have a look at all that when completed. And what is required, how much do we need? So we know how this works. So this is where I want to put the net for what we did. That'll be useful for the charts later on. So if this is if we need something, then I want to put it. I want to show how much of it we need. So I will just put a negative of this. And if it's available, then I want to put this instead. So here there's already some conditional formatting to highlight. So what I've done is I've done a bit of conditional formatting. I'm just going to show it once because it's across the board. So when something is negative, you do highlight cells and value greater than and red for smaller than 0. So here that tells me month by month what is the availability there, if there's a surplus or if there is a lack. So here there's a lack already, and we have only one project in. In red, this is what I'm planning to put on the chart later on. So here, and all this will be shown on the chart. Now what I need to do is I need to know what is the resource availability after the projects have been allocated. How many resources still have some days available? So in order to do that, I need to do a little bit of calculation. So first of all, I need to put the total number of man days requirement that were. So we're taking the summary here and we take the total here. So we had 50 here and I just drag it across. And now I need to go through each line and check how many was allocated to that resource, and just from that deduct the outstanding requirement. And we will be using this. We will be creating another tab here where we'll be saying for each individual what is the availability after the allocation of the project. So here we had an overall requirement of 50. So first of all, we check how many of those days have been used. If the requirement is greater or equal to the resource available for that resource, then we give it all. Otherwise, we need 0. And I continue across. So as there is no resources available, then I will have 30 until the end. And now I can drag that across, do all the same. So we can check that here the requirements were 50, filled pretty quick, and then there was no more requirement, so therefore these resources here have not been used. So now if I go back here, the first thing I would like to do is to put the name of the resource. So I just drag that across. Okay, so that's here. Just need to do a bit of thing. So if I check for each resource, if the requirements was greater than the resource availability, so in this case 50, yes, is greater than 20, so therefore there is 0 available left. Or else there are still some days available, so which are the availability of that resource less the requirement before. That's it. We've done it once. So all those resources, if they seem a bit obscure to you, you can take the time, or if you get the template, you can have a look at it. So for instance, here it looks like there's still 15 days available. So those guys, so we used 10 days of this. The requirement must have been 50, that's it. The requirement was 50. So we use 20, 20, and then 10. So therefore we have 3 resources with 5 available here. Now there is something that I need to do on the chart. I would like to have the top 5 or resource available. So what I will be doing is I will be using the sort function. Same table here. The difference is sorted. Sorted. Okay, so we have sort. I sort all this. But before I do, sorry, I need to have the sum here because I don't do it month by month, I do it overall. Across the board, who has the most availability. So I'm going back to my sort. So I'm going to sort all this. And the order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to sort it on the 8th one. That's it. So I put -1. So this is not extremely visible, but once I copy that here. Okay, so it has sorted it this way. The challenge I had is when you have a lot of resource with the same amount available, if by using the filter function, it was just bringing me back more resource that I needed at times. So here on the dashboard, I will just take the 3, 4, 5 first resources that I have. This was the tricky part, guys. So now it's all downhill. Now it's all about the copying, duplicating, and putting on the pretty charts on. Okay, so now that we have done the resource allocation for at least one project, as mentioned, I think you can use this spreadsheet if you only have one project, and therefore you leave the other areas here blank. Now we can go back to our project tab and then finalize this until we start copying for the other projects. So here, what do I want? I want to know how much has been allocated for this business analyst day. So I'm going to put January here, and I'm just going to go back to the res type 1 tab, which is a business analyst, and see how much has been allocated to me, provided here, 20 provided. And then I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. Just going to paste the function only so it doesn't mess up my formatting. Okay, so as far as business analysis is concerned, I had asked for 50 and only got 20. So I need 30 again here. So still need 30. The February, I asked for 100, I've been given only 71, so there's 29. Obviously, for all the other resources, the resource allocation has not been done, so I still have all these numbers outstanding. So I just had 50 here and 50, though those two have been allocated, so it's all good. So this is done for one. So the logical thing to do now is just to create all the projects, so duplicate this tab into 2 other tabs, project 2 and project 3. And then we can change this. So let's do this. So I'm just going to copy it. Copy, create a copy, move after this one. I'm going to call it project 2. That's it. I'm just going to put it after project 1. Don't know why I didn't do it. So here I just put the number 2. Remember, the yellows only. This doesn't need to be changed. The name of the project. This doesn't need to be, so it's still good. This I can wipe it out because this was a requirement for the other projects. Now this is wrong, so this is the thing that I needed to change. So I need to go to what has been allocated to the project 2 instead. Just go here, provided, sorry. Yeah. Now I just can paste it here. Sorry, the formula only. So that's it. So just have the first resource. So this is created. So once all the resources have been created, I can go back to it. So that's it. And then I can do the same for here, project 3. project name in case I forgot. Just should be the line 9. Business analyst, all this is good, all this is good. So the only thing I need to go and get is rest type. I need to go back to rest type 1. And this time I need to take the project 3 here, the provided. Okay. So here I take this and I just paste it like this. The formula only. So that's done already. So this is, I just need to put 3 here. So 3 here is not being used now, but it will be used when I will be doing the chart. Move or copy. Create a copy. That's it. So I just can rename that rest type 2. Rest type 2, not 3. Okay, so go and get in the settings. Let's just go and get the second type here, developers. Okay. Now all this would have to be redone, so I would need to go offline and make up some names here. The project, yeah. So the only thing is the requirement come from somewhere else now. I need a requirement for the project 1, but I need a requirement for the developers for the resource type 2 now. Okay, so this way it's easier to read. Now for project 2, the requirements. Project 2, the requirement for resource 2. And for project 3, the requirement for resource 2. Now we'll go offline and just do the same for rest type 2, 3 and 4. And I will also put some random availability number for every type of resource. And I suggest if you are with me, you do the same. Now I created 4 tabs for each one of the 4 resource types. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've created some resource names here. I'll just put res4, so make sure that when we test, we have the right resources. And I've also created the 3 project tabs that we started together. So now what I would like to have is some consolidated view across all resources and across all projects. So I have created a new tab called All Projects. Now I would like to have 2 types of data here. So the first one is resources that have been provided and one that are still needed. So I just first do it for the project 1. So I go to my project 1 here, the total provided across all resources. Here we have 66. So what I need to do now is I need to unlock the F. I unlock the F. So this way, when I drag it across, it keeps the 15, but it unlocks the F. So that gives me everything around project 1. Now, as I've locked the 15 here, I can copy that down and it would stay 15. And then the only thing I need to do is I need to go there and change 1 with 2. I change 1 with 2. And then I drag it across. Now change 1 with 3 at this one. And then when I copy it across, it's all done. Now I need to do the same, but this time with the resources that are still needed. Still needed. Same diff. I just lock the 22 and I unlock the F, so I can drag it across, but when I drag it down, it doesn't change. So here I will change with 2. And here I will change with 3. And then I will copy that across. So that's it. Now we have across the board, across all projects, how many resources have been provided. I can add a nice little sum here, and how many resources are still required. Okay, so now I can do an overall resource requirements for the 3 projects. There should be this one, all the resources provided plus all the resources still needed. So this is obviously the man days. So this is the amount of days. This is not the amount of resources. So we have that. So we might have to do 1 or 2 more changes when we go to our chart, but this is a very good starting point. Okay, so now we can start the fun part, which is to create those boxes. So I create a new tab. We'll be calling it Dashboard. Finally, Dashboard. So I'll be creating plenty of boxes. So to create boxes, I insert shapes, but I don't want the square ones. I want the rounded corner ones. The first one, I mean, I'm just going to give you some numbers, some centimeters, but it's really up to you. But just to get us started, the first one should be around 3 centimeters high and around 32 centimeters wide. So hopefully you have the metric system on yours. So the way to check the size of your box is on the top right here, 32. Something else that I do is I put my zoom to 80%. That allows me to have an overview. And then because the dashboard is to be used really in full view, so then after when we come back to 100%, we can see it all hopefully. So this is just a starting point for our boxes. Now I have a different background for boxes that I really like personally. So it's 1-to-1 every 6. That's a number that I've put in this box here, 1-to-1 every 6. So I go back to my dashboard, I click on it, and same process, shape fill, more fill colors. I'm going to the hex value here and I paste the 1-to-1 every 6. And then that gives me that beautiful contrast. For the moment, might not be that beautiful, but as soon as we put some bright colors in it, and so what I like about this is it's just the contrast between the darkness and the bright colors. So I duplicate this. I'm still keeping an eye on this, and I just want this time to have a box that is 5 high, 4 wide, very roughly. So the idea is just to create one box for each resource. So we will not be creating all the boxes now. We'll just be creating the types of boxes that are different. And then we can duplicate for each resource. So there is another, I do a Control D here to duplicate this one. I wanted to put another one under this a bit, give it a bit more height, around 6 something, between 6 and 7 height. That's it. And then we will have that, just going to duplicate it quickly just to get an idea of where I should put the other boxes. So this right here. I'm not going to align anything yet. Then I create another large box, 12 and width of around 7. So this one I put it here. And then I duplicate this one, and this one will be a little bit narrower, around 5. Okay, so more or less this one at the top should be covering everything. So we'll put all them closer together. We can play around with the final format when we're finished. Now to put the things in the bottom, I'll duplicate this one, for instance. This one will be only 8 high. This is just an order of magnitude, but you're better off sizing the boxes before we put things inside. So the 13, voila, okay, and the 8 times 20, that should be showing all the project here, around like this. So okay, and we'll have some data on the right. Okay, now we're going to start putting names to that boxes. So the first one here, this one, I just click on the border of this box here, and I want to put the type of resource that it is. So I need to make sure that I click on the side of the box, and I put an equal in the formula bar here, and I go to the resource type, and I select this. So if you notice, I put everything in high caps because I think it will look better on the box. So now it's dark, so I just need to put a clear font on this. And I need to make sure that it fits in. So the font that I am using is not the Calibri here. It's the, if you want to use the same font, obviously, it's the semi-bold, pen script semi-bold, semi-condensed. So that's the one I often use, as you might have noticed. And I'm using a font of 11 here. Try and get resource types that are quite short, because this is, you can check this shape format. Yes, 5, 4, okay. Now I will be creating one, and after I will be duplicating. So for the moment, I'm just going to create that one. It looks better, I think, with high caps, as I was saying. So let's just stick with this. The second box here, I will be putting at the top, I want to put the amount of resources that are available. So same thing, I just click on here, I put equal, and I put the amount of resources. Finally, we have this that we can use. Same font, and I put the size of 11. That's because it's high cap. Not yet, but it will be very soon. Here I want to put high caps. Now this box here, I want to have the, I'm just going to hard code it. I'm just not going to, because this will be across the all resources. So I'm just going to put all projects and all resources. So this way there's no ambiguity here. There you go. So I just put back my font. I could have put this font by default, but so size of 11 for that one, all projects, all resources. For this one, I wanted to have also, it's going to be a constant. I just wanted to have types of resources required. Doesn't fit in, but let's see. Put everything in the same font. And okay, so now maybe it's time to get some charts. So the first chart that I want to bring back is for the resource type 1, for instance. I want to bring back the overall status. There's 3 types of status, if you like, the requirements that have been provided, so that are being used, the ones that are still available for allocation, and the ones that are needed. So if I take those 3 components here across the 6 months, and I insert a chart stacked like this, stacked column, they are here already. So I like to create them on this tab, and after I just copy them over there. So what I want to have is, I want to have this one, which is the provided. I want to have a bright blue, so I choose this bright blue here. I want to have a shape outline of around 1.5. I want to have the one that has been needed, I want them in light red. So I already have a light red here, but what you want to do is you want to select the deep red, and after you go more fill colors, and either you manage to find one here that you like, or you go back here and you just put more light into this thingy here. So you just put it this, for instance. And we'll double check that against a deep background, how it looks like. And this one is the available for location. So this one we can have them in green. So I forgot to put the outline. So I put the outline on this one, and I put the outline on that one. And I remove the background. Shape fill, no background, no fill. Now we're starting to see it a little bit more, put it here. I just remove the grid, so it looks like it didn't take my outlines. Shape outline, I wanted to put white, that's why it didn't work. Okay, so wait, 1.5. So I remove the series, I remove the thing, the axis at the bottom, the axis on the left, and I remove the chart title. I remove more or less everything. I'm even going to remove the frame here, shape outline. I'm just going to put no outline. So if I like this, okay, I just need to do a couple of changes. For my data series, I want to remove the gap here. I want to put a shorter gap. So this is it. So I'm just going to duplicate it, Control D, copy it, and I will be putting it on the dashboard here. So this is one done. Now, what the first thing to do is, once you're happy with your chart, you save it as a template. Save as template, because it's better than after you can apply this template to the other chart. Put a template. So this will make sure it's on top. Okay. So after, just a matter of duplicating for the other resource. Now, the second component I want to have for the business analyst, so this is the business analyst component, is I want to show overall what is the situation between provided, allocated for, available for allocation, and needed. I just select the 3, the total for that 3 here. And this time I want a pie chart. So I create a pie chart like this. Now, actually, I'm going to take a donut chart. Same thing. I just click to check where it gets this one from. I just need to make sure that, okay, so I just select this one. Oh, this one is done, so that should be the blue. I need to give it an outline this time and make sure I select white outline. I'm going to try 1.5 as well and see if it's okay. The second one, it's available for location, so that's green. Put this green here. And the last one is required. Take the same red as before. Now, I'm not going to be able to see if it took the outline until I... Okay. Same thing, I can remove everything because we will know what this color mean. We need to make sure that the users know what these colors mean. And that's it. So I could reduce the center. It usually does it for me when I just request a change start type, and I don't change it. So I just need to add the numbers here there, but I will do that later on. So you might be asking the question, how can we have some stuff that are available and some that are needed? But the thing is that it's on a different months, obviously. So this is why it's so tricky with resource management, is you can have the resources, more resource on one month and not enough on the other month. So this is why all the project planning needs to be done with the resource management in mind, which is not often the case. Okay, so I'll duplicate that. And I'll go back to the dashboard. And then I paste it. And then I put it here. Now I will be removing the outline, shape outline, no outline. And I will like to have the numbers this time. Home, chart design, chart element, data label. I'm going to add the data labels here. I'll be putting them in white. Okay. Here, just put them outside so they can be seen. And we need to make sure that we remove the wrap text in a shape. So that's it. So here we have this. I want to add a little man on the side. So I just don't want this to be too big either. Okay. So I wanted to add a little bit of life to this chart. So I'm just going to add a little man, an icon here. So I just put people. I insert people here. So it's all black. What I wanted to do with resources to differentiate them without overwhelming the dashboard with colors, I just wanted to put them all in blue. So the first resource here will have the lightest of the blue here. And after I will go down the blue to darker. And I want to put it also a bit of an outline. Outline this like this. Should be in white. Outlined in white. What weight do I have here? So I'm not sure about the weight of that one. Maybe I can start with 1. And I put it here. I'm feeling a bit squeezy maybe. And I'm going to be super fancy and I'm going to add some reflection. So that's it. So first of all, I need to make sure the data label here is done with my favorite font. So there's a bit of consistency here. Now I want to add another text here. I just want to add, insert a text box. I want to provide a bit more information. I would like to say how many overall days are being asked, how many days are required. So how many days are required for the resource type 1? Resource type 1, how many days, requirements, it's 316 here. So here I've already formatted it. So what I have here, what I've done here is I've just done the total of this, and I've added after with a percent here, days required. So here, this way it's already formatted, because formatting it once it's in a box is a bit complicated. So what I can do here is I can click on the side, and I say equal to that resource type 1 field here. So that's going to come back here. I have to do my usual. So I just put a no fill to this. I just have to remove the shape outline. I have to put that in white. It doesn't like it. And I have to put my favorite font. Now, favorite font, here it is. And as it's small caps, I'm just going to go crazy and I'm just going to put it maybe 12 or 13 even. Let's see. Okay, so this is good. We're progressing. I think that once we have done for one, it's easy just to duplicate the others. Here I'm going to do the same. Actually, I'm going to do what I've done before. I'm just going to save it as a template. Template, a template, donate. And this way I can just apply it to the others. So what's in this box here, it's a bit complicated. We can do that to the end. But here I have all projects, all resources. So I want to do the same thing than this one, but with all projects and all resources. I want to know where the breaking point is, in a way. So I'm going to the tab that we've created just before, and here just to take I have the provided here, and I have the still needed here. So I take those two, I press Control, and I select the other one as well, and I do an insert chart, and I do the stacked columns, and it's here already. So now that I have this, what I can do is I can apply the template. I do change chart type, and I just select the template that I've created just before, this one. So this tells me what I have been provided, but the thing is it's taking this as the still needed as a green, because I only have 2 series in this, so I just need to change this. And I put the red. So here there's only 2 status here. There's only what I need and what I've been provided. There's no overflow of resources in this, unless it's a matrix environment project management, but let's not go down that path. So now that I have this, I duplicate it. I like to keep one here just in case. And then I'm going back to my dashboard. Dashboard, I will just be putting it here. It's debatable, but what I like to do is to add a white shape underneath, so I have to give it something to sit on, because I've removed drastically a lot of things from this chart. So if you want to put a little bit of something to sit on, as I was saying, for this, you can put something here. It gives you a bit of the feeling of an axis without having to go through all the chart types and the like. So this is it. So this gives you a good idea already of what is available, what is not available across the board. Now what I want to add as well is I want to add how many resources each project requires on a very high level. So I'm just going to copy, I just need another box here. I'm just going to say for that box, I'm just going to put, I'm going to hard code something. I'm just going to say this is requirements per project. So I want the requirements per project on a very, very high level here, at a more executive level. Requirements per project provided. So we don't have this information here, but I can easily get it. I can just copy those 3 things here. I can get what has been provided and what's still needed for each project. What has been provided and what's needed. And I drag that down. So here I can just put total resource requirements. I can tidy all that up later on. So this is just those 3 things. And to compare, we just can take a pie chart this time, or another donut maybe. Just another donut. Remove this. Remove that. So I cannot really use the same template as before because we are not comparing what's available and not here. We just the overall resource requirement. So I just go back here just to remove the hole here. I would just change the format. Oops, here for my shape I put no fill, and I would like to put some numbers that are labeled. I can. Okay, so here I will have the white font. Okay. But I just need to find another color scheme because we're talking about project. We're not talking about availability now. So I was thinking I could just use this part here, this yellow, because it haven't really been used. This one, for instance, is that? Make sure that I select this one. This one. And I'll go dark here. All right. So now just there's just one thing missing is the project name. So if I click on this, I just add on the second between the 2 commas there, I'll just put this here, which should be the project name. And I will just press OK, the green tick. And now if I go back in my data label, format data label, I can add the category name to all of us, please. Select all the data, format data labels, category name. So it'll be here. So, but here I need to make sure that I have the proper project name. So here, well, I could just leave 1, 2, 3 because otherwise it's going to be too cluttered. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3 here, actually. Okay, so now I duplicate this. I copy it on the dashboard. And it's back here. So I just need to remove this. Shape outline, no outline. And then I just need to remove those dates here. Put this here, this here. Okay, so maybe I can put it even a little bit bigger. Now I know for project 1 has got 699 man days requirements, project 2 470, project 3 428. Let's do a quick check. Project 3 428. Oh, that was lucky. Otherwise, okay. Now this is good. We're making progress. Now that I see this, I want to put it smaller. I mean, this is the never-ending process. No, this is project by project, type of resources required. Now, if I go to project 1, what are my type of resources? They are here. So I just need to take this, the total for each type of resource. I press insert. And how do I want to show that? For a change, I want to show a proper pie chart. And this is it. And I want to make sure that the first one, that's a blue one, the first one, okay, that's the lightest of the blues because of what I want to do is resources, the lightest of the blue, that's it. The second one, I just take it a little bit deeper here, this third one. The third one here, I take it even deeper, I'm just going to take the one at the top, or I could take this one, maybe this one. And then this one should be really the deepest one, the darkest one. Okay, so now just for this, I'm just selecting the name here that and here I've brought back the name from the settings. I need to make sure that I have my favorite font here. Recently used. So this is not going to be good. I need to put it in white. So just here, no fill. I remove the legend. This, I put it in white. I squeeze it, duplicate it, cut it. Dashboard. This is going to be, I need to remove the shape outline. Shape outline, no outline. And here we are. So project 1. So I'm hoping that the project, the color of the project tab is sufficient. Otherwise, what you can do is just to add the numbers there if you want it. So this is a bit big, so I'm just going to follow my rule. I'm just going to put a size of 11 here. Project 1. And I will be saving it as a template. A template projects. Okay, so I need to do the same with the other projects. So project 2, select resource types, insert donut chart, or I could do change start type, templates. And I'll be doing the same with project 3. I wanted to do an overall allocation of by project, but by month this time. So let's start with project 1. I wanted to do it by month. So I just take all this. And here I insert, this time I will insert an area chart. Like this. So they are all on top of each other. So I just need to do the usual. Just check the first one here, the series 1. I put the lightest of blue. But I want to put also an outline in white. So a nice thick outline. Let me just do the second one here, this one here. So I just need to make sure that the outline is visible. I'm just going to put the format, the no fill to the overall. I'm just going to remove the grids. I'm going to remove everything because it's the color really that tells us where we are. Just going to remove this as well. So here I should have 1.5 shape outline, weight 1.5, shape outline, white 1.5, shape outline, white 1.5, and this is the third type of blue, and this is the shape outline, white shape outline 1.5, and this is the deepest of the blues. So that's it. I remove the shape outline for this one and the chart title. I will put in white. I will do the same. I will just put this is equal to this one, project 1. And I don't have my favorite font yet. So I go here and I do this. Okay, and what do I do now? I just save it as a template. Save as template. A template area. Duplicate, copy, dashboard, put it here. That's it. We have another one already. So now I can put some text in this. I'm going to put projects, use of resources. That's it. So I just put Calibri, remove a Calibri, and I put this one here. And voila. Okay, so project 2, same thing, area. Okay. Now what I want to add is what we call a bubble chart. So this will show me which project is in trouble and when. It might make more sense when you see what it looks like. So here I want to create 2 series, one when the resources are okay and one when the resources are not okay. So let me just put some text here, resource required and resources okay, using a project management jargon here. So, but I don't want this number here, I just want either 10 or 0. So if this is greater than 0, so that means we're in trouble. That means we need to have a resource. And if I do below, so if this is equal to 0, then I'm okay. And then I put 10. So I drag this along here. So here, as you can see, they are alternating. There's 10 either on one or the other. So now to create a bubble chart, I need several things. The first thing here is to the horizontal axis, which for us is a period. So I might as well retype the period here. Because it has to be a number, it cannot be the text that I have here for the months. The second one is the vertical axis. Where do I want this bubble to be on the vertical axis? So this is where finally this number 1 that I have here on top will be useful. I just put it back there and then I will drag it down as the same. So we have our two axes there. Now what we need is the size of the bubble. So what I do is I just transpose. Must be getting familiar with this transpose stuff now. Transpose this here. And then what I need to do is to transpose the other one. Transpose this here. So it will make more sense when I draw the bubble chart. So if I just select those three here, the two axes and the size of the bubble and where they sit. If I insert a bubble chart here, so that doesn't tell you much, there's only the two there, so at least it works. Now, if I need if I want to add data to this, what I like to do is just press Control and select the two things that are required here, which is the number 1. I want it to be on the first line here, and then the bubble size for that very line. I copy, I press on the chart, and I paste it. And that must make more sense to you now. Now the one where resources are okay are these ones here. So that means that these ones I want them to be discrete. I don't want them to be too obvious. So what I'll do is, and I will have to change that later on, but I just put a no fill for the moment. And I'll put shape outline white, and I put quite thick. I will change that probably later on, but okay, so now what I need to do is I will just remove the shape fill from the chart itself. Okay, so I press on each of the axes and I remove them. Oh, yes. I need to make sure that I press on the axis and not on the chart itself. Pro tip. So it's starting to look a little bit more like what I want to have. And the other one, that's the one that I'm in trouble. So I want to be consistent with my coloring. And what I need to do is I need to put one of the pale reds that I had. Maybe this one, give a big warning, white, shape outline, and the weight, put 1.5, but reserve the right to change. Now what I like to do is to put a bit of a white bar on top, under it. So, but we will do this towards the end. So I have one ready now. So this is project 1. Okay, so now we'll be adding the other projects on top. So there will be project 1 on line 1, 2, and 3. So I just copy and paste this exactly at the same spot where I had it before. I just paste it here. So I have the number 2 that came back from the top right here. I go back on project 1, and this one, this way I'm going to add the data. Select data and add series name. Maybe I just could put the series name here. I don't need to put anything in the X values. He knows that already. So here I will just put the Y value. So this is where it will sit, and that should be 2. And the bubble size, first one will be this one for project 2. So I add it, and you see, it's put it just on top. And another one, I'm just going to repeat this. Project 2 here. The series value is the same. I could hardcode the 2 here, but I'm just going to drag this 2 again. And then the bubble size, this time I'm going to take this one here. If I press OK, that doesn't look that great, but let's have a look. So which one was it? The one we start with a 10 is a resource required. So that's the one that should be format this and this. So it's using the same things as the same format as before. I just need to increase the weight of this for 1.2. Okay, 1.5. And this one, shape outline white. weight 1.5. And for the time being, I'm just gonna give it leave it at no fill. So I'll be doing the same for project 3. Okay, how does that look? Terrible, I know, but we will improve. Now, duplicating it to keep a track of it, and then I just cut, and I put that on top of the dashboard, and I will have to fit that in here. So here, what I'll do is I'll be sizing the bubbles because they are all at 10. So if I say, for instance, 50, that better. Well, that's already better, but I'm just going to remove this shape outline. Okay, so that's it. So what I wanted to have is I wanted this actually, this wants to have a normal type of color here instead of the white. I wanted to have them blue. The one that are okay, which is stay consistent with the blue. So I'm just going to have to remove this here. Click on those, put the blue. Click on those, put the blue. And do I want this at the bottom? Yes, so this way it's really clear what that is. This is the mumps. Let's be bold a little bit, maybe a bit bigger even. And this I don't need it on the right, so I have to be careful that I don't remove the whole chart. Voila. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is I want to add a line through. I didn't want to use the axis. So I need to send it backward. Okay, but as I was saying before, I need to change this. I put it shallow, but I need to put those bubbles in the same color as my background here, the box background. So settings, the box 121 F36, and then I will need to go back and put it at format. 𝙏𝙚𝙢𝙥𝙡𝙗 F36. Now the bar is behind. Here I need to do the same while I'm at it. For the top part of the dashboard here, I want to put something very, very high level for the executive, so to have for them to have an overview. I want to show the total resource utilized provided, so this will be it. So this will be the resource utilized. Okay, so for the Americans, I'll put a Z here. So for required, that will be this one. But what I don't have is the available resources, the resources that have nothing to do for that period of time. So I did want to create another tab for resource totals. So I'm just going to use the project, all projects tab here. So I can just put for very quickly here, resource type 1. To 4, and I go back and I put the total of the resource available. So for the resource type 1, what did I had available after allocation? I had 62. So the total available will be here. So that will be the total here. Put auto sum and bold. We need to put that on our dashboard. So I could just put the number as is, but what I want to do is I want to provide a little bit of context. Just going to put days instead. Days, days. So it's even clearer than that. Days. Okay, if I go back to my dashboard, the first thing I want to give them something to sit on. So I just wanted to create a little shape like this. So something to sit on, and also to let people know what the colors mean. Like for instance, this blue color means utilized. So if I just create a white outline and I put it a little bit thicker, so if I take one of those things, I duplicate it. I want to put utilized here. So this way they know this color means utilized. And then I can duplicate this. And here instead I will be bringing back this. As usual, it messes things up, but I'll painter here. So this is too small. I need to put it a bit bigger than that. And if I put it bigger, I need to increase this as well. I'm just going to put it in small caps. Okay, so as I want to be super fancy, I wanted to have a bit of an icon here. I'm going to put an icon that shows people that are busy. So that's it. So that's the icon I could find that they at least they look a little bit busy. And what I've done is I've just added a little bit of graphic effect, a little bit of reflection, so it looks it looks a bit fancy. So I just need to duplicate these. To duplicate, you can go find and select objects. You select those and you duplicate them like this. And then if you duplicate again, you should be able to put it just there. So we can just do some. So what's different with this one? With this one, the text should be different. The text should be available. The number of days this time, we just go to all projects, but we select something different. We select the available here. All projects. We select available here. And then, as usual, I need to format paint it back. I would like to change this icon from icon. People that are just sitting there doing nothing. Can I have maybe those guys here? So if you change the graphics, it should really change it should really keep the format, but here it's just put them a little bit too small, too big for my liking. So I'm just going to put that here. And of course I need to change the color of this. So what was our color for available? Available was green, that green. Now what do we have here? We have required. What do we have here? The number of days for required. We need to go back here. Number of days for required. 233 for my painter. And then I change this. So for this, I want to show an empty chair, actually. This one will do perfect. Okay, so we have the empty chair. I just need to put the color for required, which is a light red. So this way we don't have to explain what is what. They know that required. What is red is required. They know this is required. They know this is required. Now, before I put the tables, I just want to duplicate this to get it out of the way. So once again, I select the objects and then I duplicate it. And then I put it there. First of all, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of those. And I go back to Find and select object. Actually, I'm still select object there. I put that here. I want to give a deeper and deeper color, a darker and darker color to this. So I put the second here. And I need to redo this one as well. I need to redo that chart here. Okay, so we're getting towards the last stage of the dashboard. Before we do anything else, we need to lock those boxes. So when because I might change the size of those rows here. And if I do it now, for instance, if I change the size of this, this turns pretty ugly. So what I need to do is I need to go and find and select everything. Here I just select it all, making sure that everything has been selected. And then as far as the size is concerned here, I need to, the properties, I need to put don't move or size with cells. That would save you a lot of trouble here. So now when I want to increase the row here, the size of the boxes don't change. Perfect. Because here I want to put more information. This is living from the very top to a more detail, and this will become quite granular, and that will offer the opportunity to go into the tabs using some links. So the first thing I want to put is the overall teams over allocation or availability. I can put slash. For the moment, sorry, you don't see much, but availability. Okay, so we can put that into, I want to put that into the black of the boxes. So I should have it here, should be the same black of the boxes. And I want to put it in white, not in red, in white. And I want to put this font here. So now I want to have it a little bit bigger. I want to put it in the center. Team over allocation / availability. I might want to change this later on. But here I'm just going to give us the net value of the resources availability. So it will be surplus or not enough. So I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to put, so it's all going to be 2 blacks. So I'm just going to have to put a bit of a default. So how many teams? 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to put a light blue here for the time being. And what I want in the first one, let's just start with an example. The first one, resource type 1. I want to have the name of the team. And we can see already this is going quite big. I'm just going to close this. And then what I want to bring back is the balance. So let's go to resource type 1. I want to bring back this. Then before anything else, I need to put this font here. Now I'm just going to do some formatting. So this should be the lighter of the blues. This is what we've allocated for that resource. Now we should have a different, the third blue for this one. This one which will have the deeper blue here. And this one will have the white and the very deep blue, the deeper of the blues. Okay, so for those three here, we can put it all in white. For each, I need to put it in the center. I need to put those, well, in the center, doing a bit of formatting. I would like to have some white borders, so I'm just going to import some white borders. Not sure if that'll be thick enough for my liking. Yes, and now what I want to do is I want to apply some formatting here. So what is above 0, it's surplus. Greater than 0, it's surplus. So it's green. And what is under 0, it's red. Yeah, so I will be changing this. I just don't like the brightness. I just want to leave the font as black format. The font itself as black. And this, the font itself as black as well. Font as black. Now let's just put the same thing here, and here we go down one level. We get even more granular. We are bringing back the name, so I can just actually take it from here, business analysts, and I just want to bring the top 5 of the resources. Actually, what I could do is actually put that here and just say top 5 resources with most availability. So here, let's start with this. And let's go and pick up the rest tab 1. This is where that we've done like a couple of hours ago. White. So 12. Size of 12 will be better. So now if I just bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to bring back only, okay, this. Let's drag it down, drag it across, bring those 2 across. Take one of those, Format Painter. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same for all the others. So what I want to do now is, surprisingly enough, they all seem to be fitting just beautifully at the bottom here, but I want to add some links. So links, very easy based on the color coded here. So I just want to duplicate this. I want to put it here. I want to right click on it, link, and I'm going to place in this document, and I'm going to rest tab 1. We do a test, and it works. Why do I always look so surprised when things work? So, and then I'll do the same here with the other colors. Link, tab 2. Take this one so it keeps the color. Link, tab 3. Link, tab 4. Find and select objects. align. Okay, now looking back, we have all the variability, plus or minus here. So this is, as I was saying, you have too many 1 month, and then you don't have enough the month after. So some work need to be done with the project managers on this. Now I've noticed that this is wrong because I wanted to put the resource with the most availability on top. So what I probably did is I probably took the wrong, I didn't took the sorted one. So if I take the sorted one instead, that should work better. Let's take the sorted one here and here. I made the same mistake here. 4, and I go to the sorted one instead. Now, on this point in time, probably nobody is listening, but it was interesting for me to do this. I really enjoy doing this type of stuff. This is the automated resource management. So it's not pick and choose. You cannot just say, okay, I want this resource for all the duration of the project. And you will see that if you want to do this, you would have to, okay, let's say you want a resource from this project. Let's say you want John Smith. So what you would do is you would remove John from this. You would put 0 here. And in your project, you will remove that requirement for the business analyst here. So you would do it this way, because this is just automation high-level project. Now, this is good. So if you enjoyed this, obviously, if you could just like and subscribe. If you made it that far, I acknowledge that I'm probably talking to myself at this point in time, but it was fun. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.